Warning: the Chaotic Culture podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Yeah. Embrace the culture, blaze the doja. Grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster. The KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Mic check. Shout out to Mic Check, waifu. I just had to do that one time. Wow. It has been quite the month and quite the couple of weeks, but we're back here again. And needless to say, yeah, some things happen, so I'll talk about that in just a second. But in the meantime, I hope everybody's been doing well. I hope that you have been healthy. I hope that you have enjoyed your summer so far, despite the shit that's been going on in our government. But again, we'll get to that later. And I just hope that, you've been having good vibes all around. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. The pod with chaos rules, black culture is elevated and embraced. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from finances, music, black business highlights, home ownership, HBCUs, sports, black nerddom, anime, wrestling. We cover all that and everything in between. Live from the 7-5, I am the host and creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, your boy Ked the Pro, aka the Calculator Millennium, aka the Cutlass Diamond, aka Don't Be Pushing on My Buttons in My Cutlass unless you cut, aka your favorite toxic adjacent kid. The 843 is me, but VA is where I stay. Always chaotic, never toxic. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. With me today, of course, is first man of the pod, my boy Law. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Man, what's happening then? Sorry, I was listening to that in the car. But good morning.
Run it up, run it
Back
up,
again.
run it up, run it up, run it up.
Sometimes, rest is very much needed, and if you don't take it, your body will make you take it. So,
Indeed.
It's just been a hectic last couple of weeks, and just, into the grind of things. But we're here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, shout out to our other co-host Nasa, who has moved back to Colorado. We wish her the best. Definitely gotta get her back for when season 4 starts.
Facts.
So, but as always, we are ending the season with just the two of us. So, gotta make sure that we go ahead and end it off right. If you're wondering why an episode did not drop last week, well, after something in the water, I caught COVID. And it caught me slipping, because mainly when I was in D.C., I was being safe for the majority of the time. But the one time I took my mask off, it got me. So, and it's just like, dang, all it needs is one time.
All it takes is one.
All it takes is one, bro. And so, yep, and honestly, it either could have happened when I had my mask off in this one instance, or it could have happened when I had my mask on, but things happen. So, to pretty much detail it, when we were talking about this in the last episode on Saturday, when we were discussing in the previous episode how it was a logistical nightmare, especially on Saturday. Well, according to my phone and according to my COVID tracker, it said that I was exposed to it when we were all bunched up next to the drink stands and whatnot, and nobody could move. So somebody decided that they were going to show up to the festival and had carried the virus, obviously, and of course they caught me slipping. Or it happened on Sunday when I was watching Pusha T, and one of the dudes that I met up there, and we had a great conversation, but he accidentally spit on me. So it either happened there or it happened on Saturday. I'm not sure which happened. I'm not blaming him for it, but
I'm probably go with the latter.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the latter, but things happen. So as far as the symptoms that I had, though, it only felt like a mild sinus infection. Like it wasn't. It really, I wasn't like sick, or I wasn't hurting, or I wasn't, I couldn't move or anything like that, or I could.
You need a respirator.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like honestly, I could still breathe. I could still smell.
That wasn't a joke. Like,
yeah.
But
I feel what you're saying, bro. But yeah, I did not lose sense of smell or sense of taste, so I could still breathe. I was stuffed up, obviously. I did have a mild cough, and of course I was coughing up phlegm and mucus and all that. But
so question,
what's up?
Do you have to wait to get the booster now, or?
No, I have my booster.
Well, but, I think it's a second booster.
Yeah, I think the second booster though that you might need to possibly wait, because I think that is still only required for like those who are like 60 and up or 55 and up. So I don't think that the second booster, for what the CDC says, is necessary for those of us who are under the age of 55. At least not yet, because the way that COVID has been mutating.
I was about to say, I'm going ahead and boost up, man.
I'm saying.
I ain't trying to play no games, and I mean, I still wear my mask and Lysol and disinfectant. But hell no, I ain't got time for it. Like going back home, I'm like this, like looking up, like somebody call, T-shirt. You alright?
Nah, bro, but seriously, like, I'm not taking off my mask no time soon. Obviously, I mean, I'm around the house, so I'm okay. But anytime I go out, I'm wearing my mask still. I'm wearing it at work now, again, because for a while I took it off at work because I was comfortable around my, coworkers. But since I caught it, I'm like, nope, I'm putting that joint right back on, because I'm not about to risk them or myself again. So I'm about to be wearing my mask for the majority of the time now. When I go to Dallas, I'm gonna be masked up. The Dreamcon, they have mask requirements anyway, so great, but still, that definitely. But I'm definitely gonna be wearing my mask throughout my entire trip to Texas, and just in general, anytime I go out, I'm gonna be masked up. So even if I go out to another concert, like when we did with Currency, like I'm gonna have my mask on me. So. It was quite the interesting experience. I will say, the vaccine and the booster definitely helped. On top of the fact that I was taking like homeopathic medicines like Zicam, I was taking nothing but vitamin C and zinc vitamins to be sure that I build up my immune system. So yeah, I was doing everything that I could to be sure that I was not down bad for too long. Because I was down bad for a little bit, but it wasn't bad enough to where I couldn't function. And basically, by the time day 3 or 4, I was still functioning, but my sinuses had started to clear up a little bit. But the cough did last for another week, but that was pretty much the only symptom that I had. But I still, was masked up and everything, and I still kept my distance from my coworkers when I finally did go back to work. After day 6, I went back to work. But I, again, kept my distance, was gloved up too, and was wiping down everywhere that I was to be sure that I protected myself and my coworkers. So, always gotta be safe and whatnot. But yeah, that's what happened. So,
I would say for me, it's just weird because like I work outside essentially, and it's hot.
I know it.
And I work in a shop with a bunch of dust, and so like. For me to be in that environment with a mask on, it's like double, quadruple suffocation. You got the heat plus the sweat plus dirt and dust. I'm just like, golly. And then let's not add in allergies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting quadruple whammy.
Man, I know the feeling.
But I still take my precautions.
Right. And I still go in and outside of work as well, because remember, I rent cars, so it's like I'm inside the building half the time and then half the time I'm outside. So it really just depends. I'm dealing with the elements as well. I mean, it is what it is. I don't feel any more symptoms anymore. All my symptoms have cleared up, and they cleared up a couple days ago, but I still wanted to be safe. Man, the Noops had an event at Monroe, on top of the Landing Hotel, which used to be Crown Plaza for those who were, who lived in Hampton and went to Hampton University. But I didn't go because I'm like, well, I want to be sure that I'm being, extra precautious. On top of the fact that, it's a lot of people gonna be out there. I'm like, I ain't gonna take my chances with that. So this time I was like, I'm gonna stay home for the time being. But I hope everybody enjoyed themselves, those who went out there and had a good time. So other than that, my physical health is back to normal. My mental health is back to normal for the most part. And I think, overall, I mean, it hasn't been that bad of a week regarding mental health. Still, for those who haven't, just be sure that you seek therapy. And we cannot stress that enough.
Facts. I was gonna say, I went home for my mom's side of the family reunion.
Oh, okay. How was that?
It was actually pretty great, like, to see, like, my mom. So, like, the name of the reunion was the First Dirt Road Reunion.
Okay.
So, like, that kind of gives you a visual of where they grew up. Like, my grandma, grandpa, they house was at the end of the street. And I say street because it's now paved. But growing up, it was a dirt road.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I say the sticks, my mama grew up out in the boonies.
Ah, man.
You better have a landmark or some sense of direction stepping out there. But so like seeing her talk with all her cousins and aunts, like all the matriarchs sitting at the table that are still left. Like my aunt Sophie is the last of the siblings of Hines, if that makes sense. So seeing her alive and well and kicking it, I was just like, man, my heart's warm. So didn't really get to see a lot of my like second cousins. The cousins I grew up with, but that wasn't the point. I just went to enjoy. It was really for my mom and her siblings. It was just good to see.
Man, that's good. Glad you got a chance to spend some time with family, and glad you got a chance to go out to the country, and
Boy.
yeah.
Well, I say going back, I saw tobacco, corn, and soybeans. And so if you ever have seen Children of the Corn, that's a great visualization because like it's literally roads, corn, roads, and more corn. I was just like, yo.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. Yep, that kind of reminds me of my dad's family going out to Effingham, South Carolina. Now, granted, they don't have a dirt road anymore. That they live on a main road, but that main road has only been there, but so many years now. But even still, going back, like you can just tell, like once upon a time, this used to be like the country, and you could tell when my dad and his parents, that they were farmers and that they, lived out in the almost in the middle of nowhere. Effingham itself ain't but so big, but Effingham is outside of Florence, and we technically consider that as part of Florence County. So, now Florence is quiet, mid-sized city for the most part, but still, Effingham, you just like ain't nothing out here. ain't really nothing out here. At least back in the day, it used to be like that. But as we said, the area has kind of grown a little bit, so there's that. But yeah, definitely shout out to family reunion as well. It's been a while since we've actually had an actual family reunion on both sides of the family, but I think maybe as things start to get safer, then we'll start doing that again. But we'll see.
I would say the last for my mom's side was back in 2013. For my dad's side, it was probably like 2011. It's been a mad minute.
Wow. I think my dad's side, the last one, the last big one that we had was 2018, and then we were like, okay, we're gonna skip 2019, and then 2020 we were supposed to like have it in Maryland, but obviously that didn't happen because of COVID. So now my mom's side, I can't remember the last time we had a Curious family reunion, and I can't remember the last time that all of BJ's offspring, that includes like my granddad and his brothers and sisters and whatnot. I can't remember the last time that we had a family gathering. other than when my grandfather passed. So, and that I don't really count that. That's you know, you're there for the celebration of life, but you're not there to like for family or for family events. So,
because most times it's everybody come in for the service and then they right back out.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get back to that. When
Hey,
the time
to
comes.
all the viewers listening, if you are a big cousin, stop telling your cousin that isn't more than 10 years your junior or senior, that you older or younger than them. Cut the cap. Because it was like, yeah, I'm 10 years older than you. When were you born? 88. I was born in 96. It's 8 years.
Dads can't do math. Nah, I feel that, man. I definitely feel that. Definitely know how much older you are than some of your cousins, because
Only a couple years.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, man, I hope my family's doing well on both sides. Definitely got to hit up some of my cousins on my dad's side and, check on them, see how they doing. Same thing with my mom's side, but, all of them are, grown, married, or got kids. So, it is what it is.
'Tis the age we are upon.
Yep. It's the next generation's time. It's hard to believe, man. And I have to think about it. I'm sitting here like, on my mom's side, I am not including my adopted cousins, but from like the 5 of us, the original 5. I don't want to call us the original 5. That sounds so bad, but the 5 of us who were born to my grandparents' actual, birth kids, not including my adopted aunts who were adopted when their mother had passed. But out of the 5 of us, it's just like, I'm the baby, and I'm 31. So it's like, I'm 31. My Jasmine is 32. She'll be 33 in December. And then after that, it's like a gap. And then Aisha will be 40 this year. My brother will be 41 in August. And then Yusef, our oldest cousin, he'll be 40. He was born in 78. He'll be 42 or 43. He'll be 42, if I'm not mistaken. No. I lied. He'll be 44. Damn. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. But anyway, definitely shout out to them. And then my sister is the oldest cousin on my dad's side, and she'll be 50 next year. That's crazy to think about. Yeah, like, my own sister is about to be 50. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Speaking of which, my niece's birthday is coming up. I definitely got to make sure that I send her her annual birthday gift. I know she wants some kind of sneaker, so I got to be sure that I look at my sneakers app and find out what can I get for my soon-to-be 9-year-old niece. I also got to visit them too.
I don't buy shoes until you turn at least 11. I gotta make sure that growth spurt don't kick in.
I'm saying, because it's just like, dang, I got her a pair for her birthday. I got her a pair for Christmas, and I'm sitting here like, but see, the thing that my sister does, she says she always gets like the next size up so that way she can grow into them. Mm-hmm. So she's just like, I'm not about to sit here and give you a size and then she don't wear them no more because she done outgrew. No, she's gonna grow into your shoes. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's smart. That's smart. So,
and now I got it bad because I just had my brother just had his 3rd daughter on June the 7th.
Oh man.
So yeah, I got one niece that probably is into designer. One niece that is getting ready to go to 8th, 7th. No, she's getting ready to go to 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a newborn niece. So
man.
Uncle got to make sure his pockets is
I feel
all
that,
the way
bro.
together.
I feel that 100%. Thankfully, only got to worry about one because my nephew, which is also my sister's kid, he's only 2 years younger than I am. So he's 29.
Oh, yeah, bro, you grow.
Yeah. If you want some cash, bro, I got you. But
that's all you give me.
Right.
I help out towards the bill, bro. But
now
we're into the thick of it.
Yeah, indeed. Now, when my brother has children, whenever that may be, then obviously the story will change. But as of right now, all I gotta worry about is my niece. So
yeah, that's the narrative I've encountered with the fam now. When you gonna start having that? Wait a minute.
no, it's the same thing for me, man. It was like, so when you having kids, I'm like, can I have a girlfriend first? You be like, take this step by step. Can I get a girl first, and then
Can she be my friend first? Like,
I'm saying. Yeah, man, I'm getting that too. But I mean, I've noticed that on my mom's side of the family, a lot of the males are a lot older when they get married and whatnot. And I really didn't want to fall in that category. But I'm like, well, you know what? In today's society, I would be surprised if I'm married by the time I'm 35. But we'll see what happens. I'm already 31. I got 4 years left. We'll see what happens. Anyway,
Come on, man. It's family rhetoric, man.
I love it, man.
Indeed. So with that, really quickly before we get into like the fun stuff, we just got to talk about what's been happening in the last few weeks. Obviously, we only gonna mention this briefly because obviously we have an episode about it already, about what had happened or what would have happened if Roe v. Wade was overturned, and obviously the Kangaroo Supreme Court went ahead and did it anyway. So with that being said, please be sure that you check out that episode, and please just make sure that you're doing your part, because we know that now that it is in the state's hands, quote unquote, again, that some of these states are going to outlaw abortion no matter the situation. And in Ohio, there was a situation where a 10-year-old was raped, and it's like the lawmakers were just like, well, she's got to carry it to term. What? 10? She's 10. She's still in a booster seat, my guy. What? So, yeah. Obviously, we can go into some bullshit about that, but the Supreme Court also had some other things that they overturned. Like, they apparently stopped the EPA from capping carbon emissions. So now it's just like, well, now you're putting the planet at risk. And when did the Supreme Court have this kind of power? Because usually you would give it to, like in previous cases, they would give government agencies like the authority. But now this court is saying, no, you can't do that. And it's like, huh? Really? You said it was up for Congress to decide. Well, Congress had made a whole agency in regards to that, and now you're just saying, nope, they can't do that.
Man,
So
they know something more than what they're showing the public. And for those who actually have like watched these different TV shows and series, they're just giving us glimpses as to what's truly gonna happen, bro. Like the 100 that came on CW, prime example. Like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be doing all this testing to go to the moon and Mars and all this stuff if that wasn't something that they're actually serious about doing.
Right.
And mind you, and again, this like kind of plays into it, but I watched Love, Death, and Robots.
Uh-huh.
We don't know what's in space, bro.
Nah, we don't.
So, like, one of the episodes, they, like, are doing space travel, shipping or whatever, and they get off course. And mind you, this dude has been, like, doing this for years, but he was, like, actually, like, caught up by this alien thing that was, like, tapped into his brain, keeping him alive. But, yeah, watch Love, Death, and Robots. And also understand that, you know, they don't truly care about the planet. So if they don't care about the planet, we should care about the planet, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to space.
No, I feel that, man. Just the way that
we don't even know what's in the ocean.
We don't. We still don't. Like, a lot of the ocean is still undiscovered. Like, I forgot the percentage rate of how much of the ocean has been discovered, but it's not a lot. Ocean's too vast. That being said, in regards to what we call the quote unquote Supreme Court, please just be mindful that the overturning of Roe v. Wade is just the start.
Justice Qatar, please, you know, go in there and handle them like the mothers that you are.
Please put some sense, especially because she is the most qualified out of all of them, out of all the things that she has been a part of, at not just a clerk court, but she's been a public defender. She has Ivy League training. She has done it all. So she has the most experience. So she could probably interpret the law better than 99% of them. So that being said, I'm hoping that she can talk some sense into them. And it's odd that you mentioned that, because I watched Pastor Howard John Wesley, Alpha Street Baptist Church. He said that one of the main reasons why they also rushed these decisions is because they knew that she was coming aboard, and she probably would have thrown a case out there that would have just rendered their whole case moot. But they were trying to rush because they knew if she got on there that she would have probably talked some sense into them.
Because I think Roe v. Wade was like 4-5 in the decision.
No. When Roe v. Wade was decided, it was 7-2. Yes, this back in the 70s, bro. It was a 7-2.
Oh no,
decision.
I was talking about to overturn it.
Oh, to overturn it. Yeah, it was a 5-4 decision.
Yeah, so. You know
But even then, she only would have replaced Justice Breyer, which it still would have been 5-4. But she probably would have convinced one of the other conservative justices, like, "Hey, no, this case says that we cannot do this," and so on and so forth. And I don't pretend to know the law. I don't pretend to be a politician. But knowing her experience and knowing her knowledge and wherewithal of the law, she probably would have gotten one of those justices to be like, "You know what, you're right." As much as I hate to admit that, but. Either way, still.
I just hate that the things that everybody needs have been like monetized.
Oh yeah, man. This
healthcare, dental. You know, I like all of these things are just to be monopolized on, and it does my heart like true like uneasiness just to know that like. Yeah, I might need to go to the doctor, but am I going to have to pay this skyrocketing bill, or am I going to actually get the health care so that I can get better and not have to return?
No, bro, that is real, man. Everything seems to be monetized. We live in a capitalistic society, but now this generation is realizing that capitalism is not the answer.
Nope.
But until we get into these offices and until we continue fighting and whatnot, these old heads are still going to continue to make decisions for us and then try to influence those that are not hip to the situation. But that being said, when it comes to abortion rights let me say this, when it comes to women's rights in general, just please be sure that you do your research. Please be sure that you donate to these abortion funds, not Planned Parenthood, but to these abortion funds that are still out here. If you are in a state that is getting ready to ban abortion, I unfortunately, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. I really, truly am. And I'm hoping that we can find solutions to this problem that was created by the opposition. So, and definitely, again, check out the episode because Ari does have some good sources on what you can do to be sure that you fight this matter and that we continue to fight for women's rights, especially women of color, especially black women. So, definitely check that out, and we'll have her up here again so that way we can talk about it again. But anyway, getting off of the kangaroo court that is the Supreme Court, let's talk about some interesting stuff that have happened in the culture. But first, have you watched any new shows?
New shows. Alright. I watched the first episode of The Boys.
I did too. I finally watched the first episode of The Boys, and now I'm interested
to see how that's gonna play out.
And
I watched the first episode of what is it? P-Valley.
How was that?
It's a whole lot of biddies.
Okay.
Some head turn away portions, but you know, that's just for my preference.
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. I feel that.
TV shows. I watched the what's that movie? Oh, it's on HBO Max. Old. You know, Old, where they go on vacation.
Oh yeah, was that M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually good.
It's like that, bro.
Okay.
It took a minute for the plot to, man. That's another one that plays into what's going on with this healthcare system, man.
All right.
Better be careful going to the beach.
Shit. All right, I'm gonna definitely check that out because M. Night Shyamalan, I mean, he's either going to like really hit or it's gonna be
really
miss. You're right. So I'm gonna definitely check that out. I definitely watched The Boys, obviously. So that is going to be on my list of things to binge here. Oddly enough, switching to anime a little bit, we did a rewatch of Overlord. And because season 4 is getting ready to come out, if you haven't seen Overlord, I highly recommend that you do. That is a gas pack. And I kid you not, like it is so good. You're gonna be like, whoa, okay, I'm really liking this. So if you haven't watched Overlord, definitely check it out.
I'm basic when it comes to my anime takes. I've been keeping steady with the One Piece drops.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been reading the DBZ chapters as they drop.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I'm actually excited for them to get into animating this next arc.
Next arcs. Yep.
Because I want to see how they do this. I can't think of the word, but ultra instinct.
Oh.
the chaotic heart, sound mind, ultra instinct.
Yeah, we gonna see, man, and I'm looking forward for the next chapter when it does drop. Also, while we're still on the subject of Dragon Ball Superheroes dropped in Japan, and the dub is supposed to drop in August. I'm probably gonna check it out before it gets dubbed, and also watch it again when it does get dubbed. But still, I heard it was very interesting.
What's the ET on the drop for us?
They said beginning of August, so I want to say sometime in either that first or second week. I gotta look at the date again, but yeah, that's when they said the dub is gonna drop, and it'll be in American theaters. So we'll be checking that out as well. Bleach is coming back. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc is coming, and according to Tite Kubo, they said that fights that did not make the manga cut will be present in the anime. So that makes me wonder, did you actually get a chance to write or do the ending that you wanted to do? So and if he did, I'm ready. I am ready. I'm ready for this. So yeah, all my Bleach heads, we up. We back up.
Man.
So I don't know if I'm gonna do a rewatch of Bleach. I think what I want to do though is go back and just reread the manga just to be sure that I am back up to date on what happened in the Blood War arc. And when it drops, I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it.
I keep getting notifications for One Punch, man.
Ooh, okay.
I think they had chapters that have been redropping or have been dropping, so I gotta catch up on that. What else do I got? Funimation.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening in the anime world. Anime Expo is going on right now. By the time this episode drops, obviously it'll be over, but Anime Expo is going on, which is where we heard the news about Bleach. It is the biggest convention for anime because I believe that Tadapula told me like 100,000 people were like going, and I'm like, yo, that's a lot. And yeah, I'm not with it. Well, obviously, I haven't even been to a convention yet, so Dreamcon will be my first actual, convention experience. But yeah, also my boys hit up EdenCon in Vegas, and they said that was really good vibes too. So that'll be a venture for next year. Meanwhile, I'm trying to think of any new anime watches. The summer season is coming up, so be sure that you check out the anime podcast that we always promote on this platform, and they will give you an update on what's coming out this summer and what's about to get updated in the fall, because the summer is about to be like that as far as anime, so definitely tune into that. Now, to transition really quickly, I wanted to just talk about this briefly because this is going to transition into the next topic. I didn't watch all of the verses between Omarion versus Mario, but I watched enough of them clips to figure out what happened.
Them boys sounded bad.
Bad. Oh my God. Yo, like, I don't know what Omarion got going on. I don't know what Ray J. Good Lord, dude. bro, how you the brother to the vocal Bible and you went on stage sounding the way that you did? Ain't no way you sounded like that, bro. Now, granted, I've never known Ray J to be the best singer. Like, I've already knew, like, okay, well, he can kind of hold a tune, but I didn't expect him to, like, you know, be amazing. But just what I heard, I was like, yo,
That ain't it.
that ain't it. That is not it at all whatsoever. And he got rightfully cooked by everybody, including his sister. Like, Brandy was just like, nah, bro.
Didn't I tell you I to drink some tea before you?
I'm saying.
Like, yo. Come on, man.
Yeah, like that was not good, bro.
Gots to do better.
Gots to do better, bro. Gots to do better. And Mario rightfully cooked Omarion too. Just like, bro, what the hell was that? Mario came out there, he was ready, and his vocals was on point. Now, I do miss when Verzuz was more about celebration and they were like in camaraderie. Yeah, it was kind of like a mini competition, but it was more along the lines of celebrating each other's music. Now it's just become a full-blown competition. Like, yo, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to embarrass you.
That? For Dipset versus the Look?
Yes, Dipset and the Locks, that definitely changed. And it's just like, damn, now y'all making this shit competitive. It's supposed to be a celebration, man. But yeah, they definitely made it like competitive. And I will even go as far to say 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs also played a role in that as well. Even though Lazy was trying to like make it more about a celebration. Mm-hmm. Obviously it got competitive, and obviously that's when the first fight happened. But still, yeah, man, I was just so stunned that they sounded that bad. And bro, when I tell you that Omarion has said something about he said that his background singers weren't there, but that he is B2K. And J Boog, ooh, he cooked him on IG. Like, he absolutely cooked this man. He was like, okay, I didn't want to talk about it, and I stayed silent for years. And he deleted the post from IG, but you could probably find it somewhere on YouTube. But pretty much he said something to the effect of, your vocals are padded. On top of that, we've had singers from other groups come in and actually lay down vocals for you. You weren't in the studio half the time. The background vocals for the first B2K album was, I forgot who it was. It was one of the singers from Troop, which is crazy. And then the main background vocals and the main vocals on their second album was J Boog. And then he goes on to say that Omarion was not the most popular member of B2K. That belonged to either J Boog or Lil Fizz. And, I mean, Raz B was just kind of there, but they said Raz B also put in some work, too, for doing, I guess, for background vocals as well. But they said pretty much that J Boog was the one who carried B2K along with Lil Fizz. So, yeah, that Omarion, this goes into this agenda that when you go into a versus, pick your opponents wisely, because they said Mario cooked him on vocals, absolutely cooked him on vocals. And I'm gonna go back and listen to the whole thing, but
I don't even know if I want to do that.
maybe I'll just go back and listen to Mario's when he was performing his songs, because he said he was ready, but nobody else was. I'm like, oh damn, that's tragic. That is very, very tragic. But yeah, pick your battles wisely. Pick your opponents wisely. And make sure that your vocals are on top before you do anything. And that includes rappers too. Like, be sure that your verses are on point. Be sure that you remember your lines. Be sure that you on top of your game, because, yeah. And also pick your songs wisely. Which brings us to the next topic. Obviously, we've been hearing almost for about a year now that we should get an Usher versus Chris Brown versus. That goes into Usher's Tiny Desk performance. Now, we talked about this on Twitter in what we call our lunch table convos. But I listened to that Tiny Desk and I wish it was longer, because Usher's vocals, my God. Now, we know when you get older, your voice is going to degrade a little bit. It's going to happen. And you can tell that as Usher has gotten older, his voice has come down a little bit. But for somebody who is approaching 45, his vocals, bro, still pristine.
I'm about to say, he broed that jump.
Yeah,
and shout out Eric Bellinger too, right?
Yeah, and Vito, bro, that whole entire Tiny Desk was amazing. Full stop. Like he brought Eric B and Vito out as the background voices, and bro, when Superstar played, them Vito and Eric B's harmonies, I was like, yo, okay. And then of course the band behind them was great as well, but it was just such a welcome sight, and it was so pleasing to the ears. And this is like, yo, Usher has still got it, and even if his voice isn't where it used to be when he was in his 20s, that don't mean shit. Like he still got it, bro. And when you do what you're supposed to do, as far as like protecting your voice and as far as like practicing your singing and doing what you're supposed to do, you ain't gonna lose it for a while. Ask Patti LaBelle. Yeah. Sheesh. Ask Gladys Knight. You do what you're supposed to do. Ask Brandy. You do what you're supposed to do. That voice gonna last a long time. I mean, again, when you get older, your voice is going to, degrade a little bit. But if you do what you're supposed to do, it'll be a long time before you lose it. So, definitely shout that out. So, with that being said, if Usher and Chris Brown were to have this Verzuz, in my honest opinion, I'm not going to say it's a wash. I will take Usher's side, but it's going to be very close, and it is going to come down to the deep cuts.
Usher 4-3. But like, nah. So like, they both have catalog.
Yes.
So they would have to do it the same way that we do our music roundtable. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, I would say, do it by 20 songs. And if you really are going to judge it off of anything, you got to do it by vocal, live performance.
Yep.
Stage presence, because that could be part of it too.
Yes.
And then have like a fourth or fifth factor that is like either judged strictly by a judge, or it could be judged for the fourth and then crowd judge for the fifth. And then that's how you go about deciding who won. But like, it would have to be like after the fact, or like how they do American Idol, where they have the live vote. So like, but they have a hell of a catalog to sit here. You're not gonna hear everything that you want to hear.
No, you right.
And for Usher to go and do this Tiny Desk, right?
Yeah,
those 4 or 5 songs right there. Come on.
Yeah.
And then to end it off with My Way. Come on, man. Stop playing with it.
Stop playing with that, man. Stop playing with that, man. I will say, because when it also comes down to it, when you factor in your songs, features are included. This is what we had talked about on Twitter. Like, features can be included too. So if you have a strong feature, then you can include that in your battle too. Because
I mean, Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, they had hella features come out. Ashanti?
Yeah.
Boy, what? And she right up there with Usher. Fine ass.
Yes, sir. But yeah, if features are definitely included, and that includes like features on your songs and songs that you were featured in.
That would be tough too.
Yeah, that's just like, yo, because because Usher has some songs that he was a strong feature on, and Chris Brown has some songs that he was a strong feature in.
But all right, so let me ask you this: what genre specifically would Usher be, and what genre specifically would Chris Brown be?
See, that's the thing though, because Chris Brown, even though he's not the best, he has branched off into rap a little bit, because there's a lot of the songs that he has, he's rapping
a little bit
on.
of pop too.
Yeah, that as well.
R&B, pop, and hip hop.
Yep. Usher has a lot of pop tracks too. If you talk about the later albums, definitely has some pop tracks on there. But if we keeping it strictly R&B, I'm pushing Usher. If we encompassing everything else, it'll be like Usher, but it'll be so damn close that I'll probably be like, damn, yo, but I don't know if I can actually like. As you said, it'll be 4-3. It's like it's a game 7. Like, damn, this might come down to like who got the last shot and who makes the best play, and it's gonna come down to that. Like, yo, okay, but seriously, like I still would want to see it. And Chris Brown had mentioned it briefly on Drink Champs, but I think everybody wants to see it because obviously in Usher's peer category, nobody was seeing him, and you can say the same thing for Chris Brown. Amongst his peers, nobody was seeing him as far as bodies of work and performance. Now, I will say that there is one person that would probably see Usher, but that person is in jail right now, and we don't mention that guy.
Yo, they said make him younger so he can do more time. You know how diabolical that is, bro? Like, he's already doing a 30-piece. Like, if he lives, that's 80. They say make him younger.
No comment on that, bro. No comment. I'm gonna say, but yeah, by the time he gets out, he will be an old man. So, I mean, it is what it is. But as we said, he would be the only person that could actually be considered maybe a peer of Usher as far as like bodies of work.
I mean, hit for hit, nah. That's like.
I don't know if anybody's seen him.
Neck and neck right there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really know who to choose if that were truly a thing, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, right. But yeah, man. Still, that'll be an interesting to see if we get Usher versus Chris Brown in an actual versus, and I hope that it can continue to be a celebration of music because. If it comes down to deep cuts, they also got some deep cuts that never made radio that are like really good too. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It'll be interesting. While we're on the subject of the culture, I briefly want to mention this before we get into this quick lit mid or miss. I did watch the BET Awards. I was down bad with COVID, obviously, so
I
had time, so I watched the BET Awards, man.
Shout out Coco Jones.
Yes, Coco Jones. There was another artist that I got hip to on there, but I can't remember the name. But still, Doechii had a good performance. But a lot of people were kind of weirded out about her performance. But I was like, Doechii, for what her music caters to, she could be big, and I think. Because she signed to TDE, that's going to be their next biggest project. Since Kendrick is gone, it's like, well, here comes Doechii. Like, oh, and I've listened to Doechii's, her last, I guess, album or EP before she signed with TDE, and she got some lyrics. She got some dope lyrics, and she got some dope concepts. But definitely pay attention to her, for those of y'all who haven't. I will say the performance by Kirk Franklin and Mav City Singers, and we actually had this discussion about this. While I'm not the biggest fan of Christian contemporary music because I'm gospel through and through, that was still a great performance. And I have to check out more of Mav City's work because they actually did their thing as far as that performance went. This goes back to the whole singing issue. We need to have more singers like start in the church and get more vocal training and more vocal practice. I mean, even if you are no longer consider yourself Christian or whatever, we got to get more singers to start in the church. We got to get them to, be in vocal classes and as well as maybe do chorus in high school or before high school. We got to get that vocal training back because it's clear that some of these singers don't have the vocal background. And yes, I don't, man, he's my man's, but Giveon, bro.
All right. And part of that wasn't his fault.
I know. I'm saying part of that was not his fault.
Broke it down, but at the same time, it goes back to the training.
Yep.
Whatever the track is, you should drop it low. You know what I'm saying? Modulate. You should be able to figure out a way to get it correct.
Yeah, if you feel as though that something went wrong, you got to be able to act quickly. Like, okay, my voice is not where it needs to be right now. Let me bring it down a little bit until I can get to where I need to be. But still, it was just like, damn, son, that beginning was rough. I mean, he eventually corrected it, obviously, but yeah. LMA. LMA, it's not that she's not a great singer because the vocals are there. But me and my friend Lauren, we had this discussion that we think that her stage presence doesn't fit her where her vocals are. It's like she doesn't have the stage presence that she needs to. And Ella Mai has a very low register. If you've ever heard her like sing,
She has
sing live.
a intimate setting.
Yeah,
Like,
very much so.
Her performing at Ogden was probably perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody knew. Her register is soft. It's elegant.
Yeah,
it's like it's not no Beyonce.
Yeah. I would say it's not like pop level. And then on top of that, she's not a barker. But if I were to compare, I would say, you know, her register reminds me of Toni Braxton, even though Toni Braxton could hit them high alto notes when in the right setting. But that's kind of what Ella Mai's voice reminds me of. And it's like, okay, look, you have a very low intimate register. And I think that the way that her performance was, it just didn't fit what her vocals were doing. But that's not to say that, you know, she was a bad singer. It's just the performance didn't fit. And that boils down to the conversation that Brandon and I had on the last episode. It's like there are certain singers that when they perform live, it has to be the right setting because, you know, if you're performing at a lounge or if you're performing at, you know, on a stage where you can get the sound check to do, you know, to cater to your voice and things like that, great. But if you're like performing live and whatnot and you're on stage and it's just like in front of millions of people on the outside and whatnot, that might not be the best fit. Or find a way to cater your performance to the crowd that you're performing to. And that way you can make it work like the way Black did. So, that being said, the BET Awards itself was okay. It's not like it used to be, obviously. There were certain things that went right, and then there were certain things I was scratching my head on. And Diddy, of course, got the Lifetime Achievement Award, but the thing about Diddy's performance was there were so many acts that should have came out that he didn't bring out. And unfortunately, Diddy was, we all know the history with Diddy and some of these acts. Like, when it comes to Mace, man, put some respect on Mace's name, bro. Why didn't he not bring out 112? I'll never know, but still, it is what it is. Which, this brings us to a quick lit, mid, or miss, and I have to talk about Drake's album, Honestly Nevermind, that dropped a couple weeks ago.
Honestly, never mind.
Bruh. Oh my gosh. The issue with this album for me is not the genre. Do not get me wrong. House music has its place in the world. I have a love-hate relationship with house music. There's some house albums that I was like, okay, yeah. There's some that I'm like, okay, nah. But I'm gonna mention there's a house album that has no vocals on it. It's called Watch Out by I Jordan. It dropped last year. That's a good house album or house EP. If you want to go all the way back to the 90s, I mean, we cook Crystal Waters a lot, but Crystal Waters has some great house music. But what this was, and I know a lot of my folks was talking bad about me, and they were just like, no, this is the summer for the geese. This is music for the geese and for the ducks. I'm like, there is such thing as good and bad house music. This was not good. This was a complete miss for me. And to break it down, it's not so much that the music itself was bad. It's just that Drake's vocals were terrible. There's only 2 or 3 songs, not including Jimmy Cooks, because that's not really a house music song. That's actually.
But that was the only good song, in my opinion.
Now look, I like Sticky and I like Massive. And
okay, those were the only 3.
yeah, I'm saying like if you look for Falling Back, his vocals were absolute garbage, bro. It's like, bro, either you're straining or you're not really trying. I don't know which one it is, but they just weren't good, and it wasn't mixed good either. And then Text Go Green, well, whatever, I guess. I don't know. It's there. But some of them other songs is just like, I don't have any purpose to go back to. Like, it has no replayability for me. I'm not gonna go back and sit here and listen to his whole entire album over again. I did that 4 times to try and see if I could.
That was 4 too many.
Bro, I'm saying, I wanted to be sure that I was judging this correctly. That's why I listened to it that many times.
He got 2 listens off it from me, and then the second one, it was literally listen, skip, okay, sticky, listen, skip, okay, skip, massive. I mean,
Jimmy Cooks.
Okay,
Yeah.
pussy.
Hey, yeah, that song is my shit. But
Which Sir Savage, we need something.
yeah, man.
I can't. I can go and listen to Savage Mode too, but
We need something from 21 Savage again.
it's the summertime. Come on, man.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about the album, man. It's just, look, again, house music has its place. There are some great house music albums out there. Shoot, we can even go back to 2010. Before Dead Mouse's music was considered EDM, it was considered house music. Now, granted, I will always say house music was started and is really best performed by black people. As Beyonce, Break My Soul just dropped. That is the definition of great house music. Like, she dropped a banger. What Drake did? Nah, I can't fade it. I can't. But anyway, that's my opinion of it. My mama calling. I'm gonna have to give her a call back real quick. But yeah, that's kind of how I felt about this last album. Honestly, never mind. Yeah, never mind, guy. I still believe to this day that is his worst project that he's ever dropped. Now, granted, in terms of, I didn't try to compare it as far as like hip hop, because I knew like, okay, I can't compare it to his other hip albums because they're hip hop albums, but I can try to compare it to More Life, because that was the best like test run for that. And I honestly like More Life more. But that's just me. He did something different, which is fine. When you're an artist, you can do whatever you want, and you can try different things, and you can try your hand in different genres of music. But this did not work for me. And I know a lot of people saying, oh, this is kind of fire after they second or third or fourth listen through. It just doesn't work for me, guys. I'm sorry. And I will stand on that.
Kudos to him, but
yeah.
that ain't it, boss.
Yeah. And I mean, he still sold 210,000 copies his first week, which, I mean, yeah, okay. But I think we're getting to the point now where Drake's name is just, I mean, is bigger than the music that he drops sometimes. And you can say that about a lot of artists, is just that their name has gotten so big. Some people might see them as invincible, or they themselves might see themselves as invincible. But just because you're invincible doesn't mean that you can't drop mid or bad music every now and again. And this was bad, in my opinion. It's not good. But whatever the case may be, it is what it is. You got any new business? Because otherwise, I think we can go ahead and talk about what's next for the pod. If you don't have any other new business or new topics that you wanted to discuss.
I just seen somebody post something about Sean King saying not to support him, and that
Talcum X.
Huh?
I said Talcum X.
Yeah. So that was new to me. It just popped up on my story as I was watching. But I don't know. It's just when it really boils down to it, a lot of the things going on in this world, they don't make me sad, but it just makes me think differently about a whole lot of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really just, I want to see everybody win and be successful. But if you aren't doing that truly out of love, I don't think it's going to ever be a point where we get back to how it was when we were growing up, where, you know, family functions felt like family functions. And I mean, I get it. The older we get, we lose people. But, like, the whole point of being a family and having family is to recreate.
Mm-hmm.
As closely as possible, at least. So like even still, and Lord forbid, but I want to be able to have all my family come together. You know what I'm saying? Whether I met you through school, whether you're my actual family, my work family. And I do have coworkers that I consider family because they are the reason why, you know, you get through your shift.
Mm-hmm.
Those work relationships are unmatched. And when you can gain to understand people outside of their work perspective and understand what's going on in their personal, you know what I'm saying? You gain another set of family. So it's just like I said, I want all my family to be able to come together and to just celebrate and commune.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want that for the country.
Absolutely.
The way we going, we coming towards another civil war, bro.
I don't doubt it, man. At first, I used to think that was outrageous, but now I'm like, honestly, I don't doubt it.
And like I go back and look at the original Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't no history buff, so some of it is still not all the way there, but like it was a lot of stuff that they was fighting for back then. Like Confederacy.
Yeah,
like,
man.
bro, what?
I'm just gonna
Hence
say,
why I said this.
yeah, the way that this Supreme Court has
talk
gone,
about
and
it.
they're trying to give a lot of power back to states' rights, and that's a whole other subject about states' rights and whatnot, and I can get into that bull crap because they're like, oh, well, the abortion rights should be in the power of the states. I'm like, well, that's the same exact reasoning that that states had for keeping slavery. It's like this power should belong to the states. What? Some of this stuff is just, and I am kind of a history buff, but it's for another episode for another time because obviously I'm just like, ugh. But anyway, that goes back into, for us, what's next for the pod. Now, we are going to take a break. Obviously, this is going to be our finale. I am going to do one episode at Dreamcon. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some good recordings in. That's going to be the epilogue. And then afterwards, we're going to take a little bit of a break and then come back for season 4. Now, for season 4, obviously, we have more music roundtables planned. Obviously, we have to do a music roundtable for the Weezy mixtapes, which we're in the middle of listening to right now, and a music roundtable for Erykah Badu. Those are going to be the first 2 that we start off with. We're going to have more black creatives on this pod and talk about their projects that they're working on. We're going to have more black professionals on this pod as well. I do have a list of professionals that I want to get going on here. And on top of that, some new updates as well. Definitely going to have a bigger presence on social media. And obviously, we're still looking for 2 other co-hosts. So we're getting that down, and we're going to make these things happen. But those are just some of the updates that this pod is going to have. And, of course, for season 4, we will definitely have some merch out. We're definitely going to get into designing that and making sure that we have some merch for you guys. That way you can have your favorite podcast broadcast on your favorite t-shirts. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon because there are going to be more bonus episodes that are going to be included on the Patreon account and on the Patreon account exclusively. So a lot of the bonus solo episodes you hear me doing, you'll more than likely hear me doing solo on the Patreon. If you want to hear those episodes, you got to go to the Patreon. And trust me, like I got a lot of things to say, so definitely check those out. And then if we have any other bonus content that we want to do, it's going to be exclusively to the Patreon. So please be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon account. Again, subscribe to patreon.com/chaoticculturepod. And I don't care which level you do it at, just be sure that you subscribe. At any rate, I think that is all the time that we have. Really quickly, of course, obviously, since we were down bad for a couple of weeks here, obviously the Golden State Warriors became NBA champions once again. During that time period, I don't know if I mentioned that on the last episode, but if I did, then yep, you already know. And then while I was down bad with COVID, I also got a chance to watch the Stanley Cup Finals and saw the Colorado Avalanche become the Stanley Cup champions. So shout out to them. Hockey is really entertaining. Hockey is really entertaining, especially in the playoffs. Like, I don't know why. I don't watch a lot of it, but hockey is definitely entertaining. And it's not as long as soccer either, but I mean, it is what it is. I I don't know if the World Cup is happening today. I mean, not today, this year, or if it's next. But I thought it was like every.
I think
Because
it's
it's 2022, so I'm thinking that the World Cup should have been this year in regards to soccer. So, but I'll pay attention to that.
I'm about to say, but yeah, no. Hockey, soccer, baseball. I watch all this stuff that people don't usually watch. So I don't be bored when there isn't football or basketball.
And that's real. I'm definitely gonna be watching more hockey, baseball. It's so hard to like get into baseball during the season just because there's so many games.
You just got. So the way I do baseball, I get one team from the north, a team from the south, a team from the Midwest, and a team from out west. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I can, if I'm paying attention, I'll know when the Braves are playing.
Okay.
I'll know when Boston's playing. I'll know when the White Sox are playing, and then I'll know when like the Dodgers or somebody are playing.
Oh, okay.
My main team is Boston, but anytime I'm and then shout out home team, the Mariners.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
you know, I catch a Mariners game every now and again. Catch a Nationals game, and then I also get the alerts to my phone. So.
Okay.
But that's how I catch what's going on around the league. And then when it comes down to playoffs, okay, I can know, okay, Boston's lined up to take out so-and-so. It's going to be a quick series. Baseball is cool. You just have to know how to allocate your viewpoint for it.
I got you. Yeah, man. I'll definitely be paying a little more attention to that. I'm pretty much, I'm anybody but the Yankees. So
I was watching rugby not too long ago as well.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it comes on sometimes whenever I like bar hop. So like I see, like I think the last one I watched was Fiji versus France or something like that. I'm like,
okay.
The French play rugby.
Very, very interesting indeed.
But yeah, now rugby is like, hot Peter.
Yeah.
Kick the ball off, they catch it, they get in the scrums. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I only thing I have not figured out is cricket.
Oh yeah, bro.
I be so
cricket,
lost.
Yeah, I'm definitely lost on cricket too, bro. But I'll watch golf. I'll watch tennis. So I'm like, I'm not that bored over the summer and whatnot. I'll try to get into soccer when I can, but I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to hockey. And I know with baseball season, it's in the middle of the summer, so I know that they'll have the All-Star game, and then we'll get into the playoffs pretty soon too. So I'll definitely be paying attention to that. Well, all right. Are there any black businesses that you want to highlight, bro, before we get up out of here?
Not off the top of my head.
Hey, it is what it is, man. So, with that, we just want to be sure that we thank everybody for tuning in this season. This was our longest season. So, yeah, we dropped like over 30 episodes this season, 32 main episodes and a whole bunch of bonus ones. So, we definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in to this season because, again, season 3 was our longest one. Because usually we end this usually after 18 or we did 18 for season 1 and then like 21 or 22 for season 2. So we definitely pushed the bar with this one and went over 30. So it was a lot of content that we dropped this year, but we definitely appreciate you for tuning in for this season and for tuning into the season finale here. Once again, just thank you for everybody that came through and dropped some knowledge on us or dropped their business on us. We definitely will continue to support you guys, and we will have more conversations with you as well. So be on the lookout for that. And most importantly, thank you to my co-hosts for once again being a part of this. I definitely couldn't have done it without them, and I'm glad that they're here. Definitely shout out to Nasa. I know she's not here physically, but I definitely appreciate her. And as always, I appreciate Law for doing this thing with me.
No, man.
Yes,
always.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Need a little outlet sometimes.
Oh,
man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So with that, we got to be sure that we do our wrap up here. So for the anime podcast, be sure that you pay attention to Mic Check, Waifu, Worst Generation Podcast, Bland Anime Podcast. I am a Patreon subscriber to those three, so be sure that you pay attention to that. Shout out to Bland Anime Podcast. They are back. They are back after a long hiatus, so definitely check them out. Shout out to Analytical, where shit gets critical. Matter of fact, if you haven't checked it out already, please be sure that you pay attention to Analytical, because this next episode will include some special guests. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You can catch them either live on Clubhouse or catch them live on Twitter Spaces. If you don't catch the live episode, they will drop on all streaming platforms, but definitely check out Analytical and definitely check out the latest episode that they will drop this week. Again, we'll include some of your favorite guests. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Pay attention. Definitely check us out. Anyway, also shout out to Dad Needs to Talk, Art Podcast, Inside the Mind of a Blur, Truth and Transparency Podcast, The Session with Jane Trey, and Brutal Honesty with K. Renee. Also, be sure that you check out her novellas under the pen name Sedona Rose. For our black content creators, definitely shout out to Black Anime, HBCU Anime, and The Sundari, who all three work in tandem, but just be sure that you check out their YouTube videos. To check out The Geechee Gamer by my girl Kiana, Icarus Metro Comics by my boy Calvin, and of course Studio Maho. Today is actually Studio Maho Day. As you're hearing this would have been Sunday, but definitely check out Studio Maho Day. They are getting ready to make some announcements as well, so shout out to both Allende and Pat. For our black business shout outs, Already Paid by Dre, KSS Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by my girl Naima, Mind Over Money by my girl Tremaine, Again Studio Maho, Concept Moon by my boy Strange Keith, She Designs 2 by my girl Erin, Lit Wands by my girls Lauren and Tierra, H4 Creative by my girl Zenobia. Please be sure that you check out these black businesses as well. With that, guys, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook at the Chaotic Culture Podcast page. You can also follow us on Twitter at chaotic_culture and on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on all social media. You can follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96 and on Twitter at Law96_. And you can follow Miss Nasa on all social media at _Call Me Nasa. Please be sure, once again, that you subscribe to the Patreon account. That's patreon.com/Chaotic Culture Pod for all your bonus content. It doesn't matter which level that you support. We greatly appreciate you. Or you can subscribe to us on Anchor.fm if you want to support us that way as well. This has been the Season 3 finale of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Once again, everybody, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for your support. And we just can't thank you enough for giving us a chance to speak to you all.
Give us some feedback, yo.
Please, definitely. And you can do that, of course, by either giving us a 5-star review on Spotify or a 5-star review on Apple. Or you can just message us. You want to DM us, message us on any of the social media. Just let us know how we can, better service our community. And if there are any subjects that you want to talk about regarding black business, black culture, black content creators, or just anything in general, just be sure that you message us, DM us. Our ears are open. If you are looking to be a guest on this show, email me at chaoticculture1@gmail.com so that way we can iron out all the details. Definitely want to be sure that we have more guests on here and that we continue to celebrate. Especially when it comes to black culture, we cannot celebrate our black content creators enough. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture. Chaos rules. Be blessed. Be safe. God is love. See you next week for our epilogue. And see you mid-August or September for Season 4. Deuces.
1.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. Cause everybody needs some.